Toby's new whistle. One day, Toby was at the steamworks. His bell had stopped working. It was covered in rust and had to be left at the steamworks to be cleaned. Victor fitted Toby with a new steam whistle. It felt very strange for Toby. It was much bigger than his old bell. Toby was worried.
"I've never used a steam whistle before,"
he said sadly. James chuffed into the steamworks with the fat controller. "That's a 3-chime steam whistle," said James. "It's a loud and booming whistle." Toby was sad. He didn't like loud and booming noises. He liked the ding-a-ling of his old bell. The fat controller spoke. "Toby, you must collect Lady HiT from Knapford," he said. "She's waiting." And so Toby chuffed off to Knapford Station with his carriage Henrietta and his new whistle. Toby chuffed along slowly.
"I wish I had my old bell back,"
he said. He puffed carefully, hoping that he wouldn't need to use his whistle. But before long, Gordon got stuck behind him.
"Out of my way, Toby, you old steam tram!"
he puffed.
"You're making me late!"
They arrived at a junction, and Gordon was able to steam ahead of Toby. Toby came across some cows that had strayed onto the tracks. He put on his brakes.
"Go away, cows, please,"
Toby said. But the cows took no notice. They were busy mooing and chewing. Toby knew that he should blow his steam whistle, but he was too scared. Toby steamed backwards down the track to find help. He saw some workmen in a field nearby.
"Excuse me,"
Toby shouted.
"Hello? Hello?"
But the men didn't hear Toby, and so he huffed back to the cows on the tracks. They were still mooing and chewing. Just then, Toby heard another engine. It was Thomas, and he was heading towards the cows. Toby knew that he had to be brave. He closed his eyes and blew into his new 3-chime steam whistle. It was the loudest whistle anyone had ever heard. As soon as Thomas heard it, he put on his brakes. "Cinders and ashes!" exclaimed Thomas. Thomas screeched to a halt, sparks flying. He had stopped just in time. "Thank you, Toby," said Thomas. Toby felt very proud. He was pleased he'd used his new whistle. Thomas's crew moved the cows off the track. Suddenly, Toby remembered Lady HiT.
"I must puff to Knapford quickly,"
Toby said. Thomas left with Toby, and they puffed along the tracks. They were waiting at a red signal when they saw the fat controller. He was very cross.
"Toby,"
said the fat controller, "Lady HiT waited for a very long time. Gordon is taking her home." Toby was upset.
"I'm sorry, sir,"
said Toby. And then Toby stopped. He could see something on the track ahead.
There's a fallen tree on the tracks,"
said Toby. Everybody looked at the tree, and further up the track, they could see Gordon steaming towards it.
"Don't worry, sir,"
said Toby to the fat controller.
"I know just what to do."
Toby bubbled his boiler and pumped his pistons. He then blew into his 3-chime steam whistle as loudly as he could. Gordon braked and screeched to a halt. He looked up and saw Toby.
"Toby,"
Gordon said,
"for a steam tram, you have a lot of puff. Thank you for blowing your whistle so loudly."
Just then, Lady HiT popped her head out of Gordon's carriage and waved. "Well done, Toby," Lady HiT called. Toby couldn't have felt more proud. Later on, Toby was back at the steamworks. Victor had mended his old bell. It glistened and gleamed. Kevin lifted up the steam whistle and fitted Toby's old bell back into place.
Did you like the 3 chimes steam whistle?
Victor asked.
The whistle was really useful, replied Toby. You can keep it if you like, Victor said. No, thank you, said Toby. My own bell is best of all, he smiled.
And Toby was so happy he gave a little ding-a-ling on his old bell.